Hey, it's Dennis, and this is a response to a comment that was left on one of my videos. This comment's from Toby, and here's what he has to say. I love hearing about all your stories and experiences. I've only been in the trade about a year and a half, but have been put into a few crew leading roles. I'm learning every day, and I just want to ask, how do you deal with a person or people who only want to milk every task at hand? I plan my week out and set realistic daily goals, but there seems to be no ambition from some crew members. Thank you for everything, Dennis. It's a great question, Toby, and I have a lot to say about it. So here's the first thing I would say. First and foremost, be liked. Make sure you're liked. Now, some of the hard asses out there are going to tell you that it's not your job to be liked. It's your job to get things done. And I was one of those hard asses for a lot of years, until I was about maybe 40 years old or maybe a little older. And then I figured out that I always felt like if I knew what I was doing and I did a good job, that was enough for me to be recognized and promoted. And then I started seeing other people being recognized and promoted above me, who basically didn't know what they were doing. And it took me a long time to figure out why that was happening, and here's why it was happening. Because those people were liked. A lot of times, people want to work with people that they like, not people that get things done. Okay? So those are the people that they promote along with them because they like having them around them. And so you can't be a hard ass. And if you want to excel and you want to advance in your career, people have to like you. They need to like you anyway if you're going to expect them to work for you, because if they don't like you, they'll work for you while you're standing next to them, but as soon as you walk away, they'll quit working for you. So I think that's the most important thing right there to understand, is that whatever your approach is to solve this problem, you need to make sure that people are going to like you. They have to like you. Okay, so the next thing we need to concern ourselves with is it your job? Is it your job to motivate those people and get them moving? You didn't tell me if you were a lead man under a foreman. For example, is there a foreman on site? Now, if you've watched my video on becoming a lead man, and I bet you have, you'll remember in there I tell you that it's not your job to tell the crew to get their butt moving. It's your job to get your butt moving and to lead by example. Okay, the problem with you trying to tell the crew to get their butt moving if there's a foreman above you is that foreman's already letting this go on. He's not pushing them and making them work. In other words, they got a good thing going on, right? And if you come along and start trying to push them, they're going to resent that, and they're not going to like you. And you know what we just covered, right? Make sure people like you. It's very important. You don't have to be a kiss ass, and you don't have to step outside your normal shoes, your normal behavior. You just need to treat people well and decent, and there's ways to motivate them and get them moving without waving your arms and yelling and screaming, okay? But if it's not your job, then just worry about yourself and set a good example and try to help the foreman and keep yourself moving. You know, quite a few years ago, I felt like I was being persecuted by some people. I didn't think I was being treated fairly at all. As a matter of fact, I wasn't. And, you know, I resented it, and it made me angry. And I felt like, you know what, I had to retaliate against these people because what they're doing to me is dirty. And I'm just not that type of person that retaliates, because I don't like to look back at my past and be ashamed of something I did or remember a bad thing that I did. I'm not a perfect person, of course, by any definition, but I try to do the best I can. And I was really perplexed about this thing, and because I wanted to snap back at them, but I knew it wasn't the right thing to do, and I was trying to justify it in my mind because, you know, basically if I didn't react, then they were getting away with it, right? And so I dwelled on that for quite some time, and then all of a sudden one day, you know, a thought came to me, and it was this: on the day I die, it's not going to matter what any of those people did to me. It's only going to matter what I did to other people. And when those people are standing there explaining themselves for what they did, I don't want to be standing right next to them explaining myself for what bad things I did. So I've just kind of learned to, you know, worry about myself and march on and try to do the right thing. And that's what you need to do if there's a foreman above you. Set a good example. Work hard in spite of the fact that everyone else is screwing off, and your opportunities will start presenting themselves. Okay? Okay, so if it is your job, be a nice guy and get their asses moving. Now, that may sound great, but you're probably wondering, you know, how do I do that? And there's a very simple method for doing that. And it's called the estimate. Now, you may need to get this information from your company. I don't know what size projects you're working on. If they're smaller projects, you may be able to put something together yourself with a means book, or possibly even if your company has estimating software, they might let you use that. Okay? But it all goes back to the estimate data, and that's why a well formatted estimate is so important. Because if you can pick a task out of that project and you can look at it within your estimate and say and determine, you know, this task has been allotted this many hours or this many dollars, then you can assign that task to someone and tell them how much time they have to complete it. And at the end of that, once you walk them through, show them what you want them to do, tell them how much time the estimate says they have to complete it. At the very end, then you always say this. You say, if you get it done in that amount of time, you're making the company money and you're going to be a superstar. If you don't get it done in that amount of time, you're going to be losing money for the company. That right there is almost always enough motivation for people to get that work done in the allotted time. Something you may also find out, because you're obviously an ambitious person and you're probably a very hard worker and well disciplined. And what you might find out when you start looking at these numbers in the estimate is that you don't have to move as fast as you think you have to move. In other words, they don't have to be running all day long. I don't know what type of projects you're working on. I don't know, how your company bids or how aggressive they are. But normally, someone with your ambition has way more than enough time to complete a task within a well-formatted, well-thought-out estimate. But by tying them to the estimate is the bad guy or the estimator who put the estimate together, not you. You can stand there and you can say, look, I didn't create the estimate. It's just my responsibility and your responsibility to try and complete the project at the estimate budget. And I'm just telling you, this task right here has been allotted this much time. If you go over that, you're going to be costing the company money. Now you're not the bad guy. Okay, you can still be the good guy, and you can come by once in a while and say, hey, you need a little help there? You're slipping a little bit behind. Let me just, help you fuss this piece of pipe in or something. Or, just have pleasant conversations, because you're both running against the estimate. You're both working against the bad guy, the estimator, right? Trying to accomplish something there. Creates a little bit of teamwork. But that's how you motivate people to get things done, especially when you're not standing there. That guy has the same amount of time to finish that portion of the project, that particular task, whether you're standing there or not. And when he knows, if you can show him on a piece of paper, here's how much time you have, and then I'm going to track how much time it actually takes you, your problems are over. He's going to get it done, I guarantee you. I've almost never seen anybody not get it done on time. And if they didn't, it was normally a training issue. They needed a little, some tips on bending pipe or how to maybe pull wire a little more efficiently or something like that. But once I showed them that and got them over that hurdle, they completed their stuff on time. It just happens. When people know that they have a time limit to complete something and that you're tracking that time against them and, everybody's going to see it, they get things done. They just do. And you don't have to be a bad person because you didn't create the estimate. You're just trying to build the job and make a profit. Okay, listen, I hope that helps you. Those are my feelings on the situation. I've been there before. I've, even asked, superintendents to get me off of projects because they were too slow paced for me, and it may come to that if there's a foreman above you and you can't do anything to get these people moving, you may want to change projects, see if you can get transferred. And the last thing I'll add is I made this comment to a guy the other day. My video's out there. You can't soar with eagles if you're hanging out with turkeys. Okay? And so you have to understand that sometimes companies give you a stepping stone to get your foot in the door and start learning a trade or whatever. And sometimes you outgrow them. And sometimes, if you want to be more professional, you have to work with more professional companies. One time when I was younger, I moved up to a small town in the mountains in California, took up hunting. And I decided that I wanted to shoot some squirrels. I was going to make some squirrel chili. Just sounded good to me. And, I marched all over those hills with my shotgun, weekend after weekend. And, Then one day I was driving back into the woods and something happened to my truck. I don't remember what it was, a flat tire, or maybe I ran out of gas. I don't know. But basically I had to walk home. So I just started off across country and I was walking along. I had my shotgun with me. And all of a sudden I came to this area and there were squirrels everywhere. I thought, whoa, this is where the squirrels are hanging out. And so I shot a few of them and took them with me. And the thing that I learned that day is if you want to hunt squirrels, you got to go where the squirrels are. Sometimes if you want to be professional, you know, you got to find that environment to be in where there's other people who want to be professional too. And believe me, I've been through some companies where, you know, the morale and the ambition and everything was just way too low for me, and I had to move on. So kind of a last resort thing, but it's something to think about and be aware of. You know, finding a good company sometimes is like, you know, finding a good girlfriend or wife. You know, you got to move a lot of dirt to find a nugget sometimes. But they're out there. And, you know, with your ambition and drive, I'm sure that they'd love to have you on their payroll. So that's a last comment that I'll make and something that you can consider. All right, thanks a lot. Listen, I appreciate you dropping the comment. I do appreciate you guys when you do that. And be safe. If you're new to my channel, I want you to know that I put together a 12-day series of videos on either, you know, how to become a foreman or how to become a better foreman and be successful. The whole goal with that series is to help you boost your income, make more money, and start climbing the ladder of success. It's totally free. All you have to do is surf over to my website, Estimateguard.com. Come down to this button right here and just click on it. It'll pull up a form. Give me your email address and your name so I know where to send the videos. Once you do that, just click yes, let me in. What will happen next is it will automatically send you an email and say, hey, thanks for signing up for the free foreman training. And please verify your email. I need you to verify your email because I do, like everyone else, get a lot of spam and bots and stuff like that. So if you'll just verify your email, then the system will know it is a valid email. It'll start sending you a video every day for 12 days. Here are just a few of the things you'll learn. How to present yourself as a professional. Look, you're going to be working with project managers and superintendents and customers. You need to present yourself as a professional. It'll teach you some ways to make that happen quickly. Crew psychology and how to motivate them. You really kind of have to be able to get inside your crew's head and do what you have to do to get them motivated to complete the project profitably. Crew management and conflict resolution. Sometimes there is conflict on job sites and you need to be able to manage that. Safety is a large part of your role to keep your crew safe and to keep your employer from having vulnerabilities of OSHA fines and things like that. So safety is very important. Understanding labor units and the role they play in scheduling. Labor units are components of a good estimate. How to compile and manage schedules, and the importance of a good estimate and how to compile one. So those are some of the things that we'll talk about. There's a lot more in there. But that's just a little taste of what you'll get out of this 12-day challenge. Okay, so surf over to my website, sign up. I'll send you a video a day for 12 days, and I promise you at the end of that series, you will have a much better understanding and much better ability to manage projects. I really believe that it'll help you increase your value to your employer and help you move up the ladder. Thanks again for watching my videos.